Okay, we have discussed about the diversity. We have started discussing about this plant diversity and animal diversity last day. So basically, this is the last part of the first lesson in your grade 6 science. The first lesson, which is the wonderful living world. So we learn about a lot of living beings, including the microorganisms and animals, plants. So here in the last part, we need to discuss about the diversity, or how we can classify these plants and animals, right? How we can classify these plants and animals. Actually, last way we learned how can we categorize the plants and little bit about the animals as well. But we learn how can we categorize these plants. So basically, based on the nature, we can categorize the plants into few categories, as you can see below. So those are sometimes these, so in your syllabus, these herbs are not there, but we can just say plants. But anyway, shrubs, so these large trees and creepers. So these are the basic categories of the plants given in your book. So let's see what is given in your book as well. This is grade 6 science book, and in the classification of the plants, not here. So they have given us plants, nature plants, shrubs, trees, and creepers. Right? Shrubs, trees, and creepers. So these are the categories. Plants, you can say herbs as well. So shrubs are basically, shrubs are small trees, and trees are much bigger than the shrubs and creepers. So you can say creepers and also climbers, creepers and climbers into one category. But so some classifications, climbers are taken into another category. So these are the basic categories of the plant varieties according to the nature. So trees are larger. You can see it has a woody trunk, right, and branches. So herbs are much smaller. It's very kind of small plant, and they have soft stem. Basically, they have very soft stem, not a woody stem. It's soft stem. So we call them herbs. And shrubs are also having the woody stem, but these shrubs, actually, the maximum height is around 2 meters, 3 meters. Those are small trees, actually. Shrubs are small trees. Climbers and creepers, both are creepers, but climbers need a support to climb up. Climbers need some kind of support to climb up. So without a climbing support, sometimes it can grow, but it's not much effective. It can grow, but it's not much effective. But if there is supporting tree, then the climbers will produce the food like fruits and all, fruits, vegetable more effectively. So beetle drought, for an example. And creepers are like it's going along the earth's surface. So creepers does not ask for a support. Okay, Tisandi, hello, can you hear me, Tisandi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're just a bit late today, right? Okay. Have you forgot this or power issue?
No, sir. Power issue, sir.
All right. Okay. So you're joining us in your mobile, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right, Pute. So what we were discussing about the last week's summary. That is this, how we categorize plants, right? I think you can remember that. I was just giving the large, that woody trunks and the branches, large woody stem. So is with trees. Actually, the nature of plants, till till death, it will grow. But the animals, so they have a limit. Like they have, so here you can see in this one also, growth in animals visibly stops after a certain period of time. So after a certain period of time, you can see the visible growth is like it is stopped. But here in the plants, it's continue to grow, right? Plants, you can see visible, it's visible and continue to grow. So that is the nature of plants. And here in this, all these categories, trees, herbs, shrubs, climbers, creepers, you can see that feature until it died. Until it died, try to grow. Then, so small trees we call shrubs, so rose and all, but not having soft stem. It is also kind of woody stem, but not not hard like these tree trunks and stems, but still it is woody. So herbs are stems, soft stems. You can even if it is a plant where you eat, so it is easy to eat this stem because it is that much of soft. And climbers and creepers, those are having same feature. Only thing is climbers need support to grow, but it's still without a support also it can grow. But when producing its fruits or vegetables, it is it is not much effective, right? So that's the reason. Okay, you can see these herbs. We have given examples, but I didn't show you, and I didn't show you images. So here are some images of that. So herbs basically, so having very soft stem, you can see coriander, rice, grass, mint, wheat. These are having soft stem, and so these are small plants with soft, green, tender stems and small roots. Right? It is actually not. So these herbs will not survive for years. So maybe it can survive for 1 or 2 years maximum. But normally it's not so. But tree's lifespan is much bigger. No? Tree can survive for 100 years sometimes. Some trees are lasting for 100 years. But these grass, rice, and all, coriander used to regrow. But the thing is, it's not lasting for years. Then shrubs. There is also a woody plant, woody trunk, having woody trunk or stem, and so it is usually less than 3 meters. That's what I said, 2 meters or 3 meters. So rose, tulsi. So these are some decorative shrubs, right? Flowers mostly. So these are shrubs. Then here, these are the climbers and creepers. Pumpkin, basically it's a creeper, and you can see watermelons, a creeper. Here, this is muskmelon, ashrout. So these are creepers. But sometimes beans-like thing, or bitter drought, we can consider them as climbers. Okay, then we learn about the animal diversity. So basically we learn about their eating habits. Based on that, we categorize animals into 3 categories: herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Herbivorous, basically you can see goat, cow, cattle, elephant. So these animals are zebra, herbivorous, only eating plants. So, but carnivorous animals, they used to eat flesh. Lion, tiger, some fishes, snakes, sometimes, most of the time, right? Snakes. So they used to eat flesh. So we call carnivorous. Omnivorous, like us. Right? Omnivorous. Omnivorous means basically you can, these animals eat both flesh and vegetables. And especially human, not only human, so there are hen, so these pig, wolf, so they are eating both, right? So we call omnivorous. Okay, today's lesson, we are going to learn about one important topic. Okay, so that is called dichotomous keys. That is the topic that we are going to learn today. Can you write down that? The heading is dichotomous keys. Please write down, and also write down the description. What is dichotomous keys? It is a physical characteristic. So basically, you can divide a plant or animal, or plants or animals, based on this physical characteristics, based on the presence or absence. That is two things. If something is present, okay, let's say a physical characteristic. For an example, let's say walking. If the animal can walk, you can put it to one category. If it cannot walk another category. So let's say a physical characteristics like having 4 legs. Having 4 legs. So animals having 4 legs, you can put into one category. Animals not having 4 legs, you can put into another category. So that is called dichotomous key. Dichotomous key means based on characteristics, based on any physical characteristic, we can divide animal or plants into 2 categories. So we call that a dichotomous key. Please write down this quickly. So this organism that you are categorizing can be animal, can be a plant, or can even be a microorganism. So based on the presence or absence of physically visible characteristics. So mostly we take the visible characteristics. It is more suitable to use external features. That's what I said, right? It is visible characteristic. Okay, let's move. All right. So here I have the full image, but anyway, so let me explain. This is the same image that is in the book. So these are leaves. So 5 type of leaves are displayed here. 5 type of leaves are displayed here. The first dichotomous key that we are going to take, the first key is leaves with leaflets. Leaflets means the small, you can see, this is a leaf, single leaf. Some leaves are having leaflets. You can see these things. So these leaves are having leaflets. So leaves with leaflets, leaves without leaflet. You can divide easily into 2 categories. Leaves with leaflets. So here you have 3 leaflets. Here you have multiple leaflets. So these 2 are leaves with leaflets. The other 3 are not having leaflets. So 2 categories. Again, you can divide these leaves, whether these leaves are leaflets, sorry, whether these leaflets are divided at one place or leaflets are divided in multiple places. So you can see the first leaflets are divided at one place. So in a single place, these leaflets are divided. So here in this one, leaflets, the small, these leaf parts, leaflets, are divided in different places. Right, different places. So based on that, or you can either say binary division of leaflets, non-binary division of leaflets. Binary means always there are 2 here. Always there are 2. Opposite sides, there are 2 leaflets. But here in this one, opposite side on here 2, but here there's one also. So you can say binary division of the leaflets or not. So that is another thing. Or you can say leaflets are divided in different places. Leaflets are divided in one places. Okay, another categorization, the leaves without leaflets. You can categorize based on a tip now. Tip means this part, right? Tip kiyala kiyanne. That is leaf tip is this part. The base is the other part. This is called tip. Okay, leaves with a pointed tip. This has a pointed tip. But leaves without a pointed tip. So you can see these 2 jackfruit and some other. So these you can see leaves without pointed tip. That is another category. Then you can further divide. So leaves with like wavy blade. Blade means this surface, right? This surface is called blade, leaf blade. And if leaf blade, here this leaf blade is curvy, right? You can see leaf blade is curvy. So leaf blade with curvy, leaves with curvy blades, one category. Leaves without curly blades. That is here. You can see no curly blades. It is a plain blade. Leaves without wavy blades. Leaves with wavy blades. 2 categories. So if you don't know, please mark this. So maybe you can use the pencil. Tip means this part, right? This is the tip. The leaf blade means the surrounding. This is the blade. The surrounding surface, we call that blade, and tip is this. So please mark that using a pencil. So based on this dichotomous keys, we have divided leaves. Similar to that, we can divide animals based on this dichotomous keys. Okay, so here I'll give you some exercise. There is an exercise in your book. I'll give that exercise. You can see there are some, right? You can see there are some animals now. So as I said, with 4 legs, you can do deer and dog. Deer and dog with 4 legs. Without 4 legs, you can see it's not really clear. A worm, parrot, crow. This is, I guess this is kind of arthropoda anyway. Okay, arthropoda category. Anyway, it's not having 4 legs. No, you can divide that to 2 legs. And then with wings, without wings. With wings, parrot and crow. With wings. Without wings, these 2. So then with curved braid, without curved braid. With curved braid, so you can see curved beak. Sorry, not braid. Sorry, curved beak. They are not having it. So with curved beak, so you can see the parrot has curved beak. Beak means this. So similar to the tip of the leaves, here the mouth, it is actually adapted as a beak because to capture their food. There is a mechanism of capturing the food. They have beak, not a mouth like us. It's a beak. So the beak is curved in parrot, but so here you can see the crow. It's not much curved. It seems straight, right? Not a curved beak. Then without legs and with leg, without leg, worm, without leg and with legs. So this is how it is categorized. Let's see, this was given in the book. Okay. Right. Okay. So that is earthworm, right? Earthworm, sorry, centipede. Centipede, this is centipede, right? Earthworm is this. Centipede is this. You can see this names, right? You can see the names of animals in your book, page number 17. So I think you can, so no, you can't draw it, right? Dog and deer, we know. This is the only one we couldn't recognize. That is centipede, right? Centipede means arthropoda category. Centipede. Centipede. Crow, earthworm. Earthworm is this, parrot. So you need to know these animals and plants, right? The names of them. Okay, so with that, Pute, I hope, yes, our lesson is over with that. Now it's time to answer the questions, which is given in the summary. So this is grade 8 book. I need grade 6 book. Do I have that? Grade 6. Okay, this is. Okay, so as a summary, so let me summarize what we learned. Right? As a summary, we learned there are living things around us. There are living things around us in this world. There are living animals. What are these? Who are the animals? We learn about 3 categories, Pute. So let me remind them again. Right? We learn about 3 categories. That is animals. Right? So these are the living things. Animals, plants, right? So 2 categories we learn about: animals, plants, and one more categories which is not here. Can you remember? That is what?
Microorganisms.
Microorganisms. We learn about 3 categories: animals, plants, and microorganisms. So these are the plants, these are the animals, And then about these invisible organisms. So these are not visible to naked eye, but how can we see them? Using which can be used to see these?
Microscope.
We have to use a device like this is called microscope. Actually, better you tell compound microscope. Compound light microscope is the full name, right? Compound means it has two lenses. So here eyepiece and another lens. eyepiece කියන හැට තියලා බලන්න තියෙන lens එක තව lens තියෙනවා මේකේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අර මේ microorganisms මේකෙන් බලන්නත් පුළුවන්. So how many of you have seen microorganisms using this microscope today? How many of you have seen?
I haven't, sir.
You haven't. Okay, I found this today. So just for in Daras, I just wanted to check whether it's working. There is a microscope. So this is not expensive. There are expensive microscopes. It's better if you can buy that microscope. I saw this one. So this is like a children's microscope, but still I got one of these now. It's a bit expensive. I think there is a children's microscope for around 3,000 rupees. There was one. Let me show. Low to high. Okay, this one. Yes, you can see it's here. This is 3,000. You can see. So using this microscope, so it was possible to see fungus-like microorganisms, but not for the bacteria and all. But still, you can see some small microorganisms using this microscope. It is only 3,000 rupees. It is also a compound microscope, but this magnification level is not that much bigger. It's just for practicing, just for just as a yes, just to do some experiments. But the thing is, you cannot see much smaller microorganisms using this. This is also light compound. It has eyepiece lens and other lenses. So this is also a kind of microscope. But if you want to do if you want to learn for your higher studies like advanced level and all, and if you wish to do biology, I would like to recommend you some other microscope. So rather than just using this kids microscope, you can buy a standard microscope, a light microscope. No need to buy, just if you have not seen, because you know that in the school, so you have less opportunities to go to the lab and do experiments using this, no, due to this COVID situation. That's why I suggest you, if you can do that. Okay, then so we learn about the microscope and how to zoom them and see. So then we learn about what? Growth of the plants. We learn about the growth of the plants. So what is the name of this, Pute? So when germination, I think you can remember the name, right? It is called germination. Germination means when you put soil, when you put a seed to soil, then if the environment is with enough moisture and also light is present, so you need a lot of conditions, right? Not just the seed, soil with some actually healthy soil. You need a healthy soil with some, even if you can mix compost, it is better. So, and you need moisture as well, because moisture is needed, because initially what will happen, the seed will absorb moisture to make this shell soften, right? Therefore, we need water also, moisture. So then with the light present, why light? Because you have enough food inside this, inside the seed, there is enough food. But the thing is, when the leaflets or leaves are appearing, then it needs to produce its own food. There is a name. So can you remember the name? How leaves are producing the food? What is the name of that? Starting with letter T. Germination කියන්නේ මේ seed එක හැදෙන එක. එතකොට leaves හැදුනම leaves වලට සිද්ධ වෙනවා එයාගේ ආහාර හදාගන්න. ඒකට මොකක්ද කියන්නේ?
Photosynthesis.
Yes, it is called photosynthesis. Prabhasansleshana. Photosynthesis. In the photosynthesis process, so leaves will absorb carbon dioxide, and so So it will convert that carbon dioxide into food, right? So it will absorb carbon dioxide and the sunlight, and it will then produce food, right? We learn about that as well. Okay, then we learn about tree kind of so there are different ways that animals produce food. Some animals, they produce their own food. We call that they call that autotrophic. Autotrophic means these animals can produce food within themselves. So we call autotrophic. So autotrophic, the example for autotrophic animal is plant. Plants are autotrophic. So they are using photosynthesis. These words very important, right? Autotrophic, they can produce their own food. Swayam Poshi. Photosynthesis, Prabha Sansleshana, how it produce food. Then heterotrophic means, so these animals cannot produce their own food. So they have to depend on some other animal. Basically, these we call animals, they're based on plants. We call heterotrophic, right? So then we learned the features of animals, the eating habits, movement. So basically animals are showing locomotion. Locomotion means moving from one location to another location, place to place, moving from place to another place, locomotion. But plants cannot do. Plants can move. Mimosa-like plants can move. Nidikumbha, it can move, but it cannot locomote. It cannot go from one place to another place. We learn about that, right? So swimming, creeping, running, these are some. Flying, walking. Here you can see sea anemone and coral polyp, they can't locomote. They are in the same place. They can't move from one place to another place. But here you can see mimosa-like plants, they can also move. When you touch this mimosa, that means it can move. But the thing is, it cannot locomote. So we learn how plants move. Plants movements are not visible to eye, but the thing is, if you watch for a long time, we show some videos. Videos I'll give you the slides after this lesson. I'll give you the slides, and also, so then you can just go through the slides and learn more about that. So then the respiration, we learn plants, both plants and animals, both need to respirate. That is really needed. Inhaling and exhaling. But when animals inhaling and exhaling, we can see that from the chest. Because when we inhale, the chest and stomach will become bigger. When we inhale, it becomes bigger. But when we exhale, right? When we inhale, it becomes bigger. When we exhale, right, it will be again smaller. Inhale kannakota me udara kuharaya saha ura kuharaya kiyala kiyawa. The chest area and the stomach area will become bigger because of the air. When we exhale, it will become smaller. Right? Then these are called respiratory movements, but plants are not showing any respiratory movements, but plants will also. And we did small experiment to see whether this exhaling air has carbon dioxide that is using lime water, unudira. So plain lime water will become milky, right? Milky color when you exhale continuously. We saw that experiment as a video also. Reproduction is also a feature of animals. So plants and animals both will reproduce. Plants do mostly by the seeds. So animals do this by eggs and sperms. Then today we learn about the diversity of the plants. So we last weekend today, we divided plants into 3 categories based on the nature, morphological or the physical features of the root, stem, leaves, flowers, etc. So based on the nature, we divide it to shrubs, trees, creepers, plants. Then also based on the habitat or the location or the environment, we divided that terrestrial, aquatic, mangrove, it's like both water and like it is moistured or it is half water, half soil environment. Kalapu kiyala kiyanne this mangrove, coastal in the seaside. So these are also terrestrial, but coastal terrestrial. So we learn about that. Then based on the same habitat, right? Based on the same habitat, we can divide these animals, terrestrial animals, aquatic animals, and the animals in the aerosphere, or we call atmosphere. Animals at atmosphere, aquatic animals or hydrosphere. In the lithosphere, terrestrial animals, these animals are in the lithosphere. Bhumiye inna, bhugole inna, aquatic, jalagole, hydrosphere, and vayugole means the that is called atmosphere. So these animals, we learn about that, right? And then, so I think you can remember this image, right? Atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere. Here. So all together we call biosphere. Air is atmosphere, hydrosphere is water, lithosphere is the land. Okay. Then we learn about external characteristics like color, shape, appendages, and walking, swimming, flying, creeping based on the locomotion mechanism, based on the feeding mechanism, based on the food, carnivorous, omnivorous, and herbivorous. We learned today. So who are the carnivorous, who are omnivorous, and who are herbivorous? Herbivorous animals, carnivorous based on the flesh, and both based on the plants and flesh bone. So these are called omnivorous. So, okay, that's it. I think we learn about the continuous growth of plants and the visible paced growth of animals, because animals, you can see the growth up to some extent only, but plants, you can see it's ever growing. Then dichotomous keys. Dichotomous key is a physical or visible feature or external feature which can be observed. Based on that, we can categorize that into two categories. We learn about that as well. Okay, that is the summary. That is what we have learned up to now. I think it's clear. Even you watch this video today, you will understand. So what are these features? Okay, let's answer the questions now. Select the most suitable answer. Characteristic that is not common to all living organisms. Is it A, B, C, or D? Which is not common to all living organisms?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. It is B. It is not common to all living organisms. Other things, respiration, everyone. So all the animals will do. Growth, everyone. Reproduction, just all. Otherwise, they can't survive. But photosynthesis only green plants. Then the second one, the process that creates energy in organism is
Nutrition.
the process that create energy. Nutrition is way of absorbing. Right? Nutrition is also needed. Respiration, correct. That is respiration. Right? So because I said in the respiration, right? Respiration, when you inhale, what will happen? The oxygen will, right? Oxygen will react with food that you intake. Right? I am react karane. Why those are reacting? To produce the energy. As a result, it produces carbon dioxide. We learn about that. So the most appropriate answer is respiration. So to absorb energy, to get the energy, we need nutrition and oxygen both. But respiration is the process which produces the energy. Okay. If you have any doubt, please ask, right? right? So the first answer is photosynthesis. The second one answer is respiration. Third one, the chemical that can be used to identify carbon dioxide in the laboratory is?
Lime water.
It is lime water, exactly. Lime water, it is normally transparent, but will become opaque or will become creamy when you exhale continuously, because this exhaling air has carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will react with calcium hydroxide, which is lime water, and calcium carbonate is created, which is a white color sediment. So due to that white color of the calcium carbonate, so the water become white color. So that is basically the calcium hydroxide plus calcium hydroxide environment. When the carbon dioxide put into the calcium hydroxide environment, it will react. But no need to explain that in that up to that extent, you don't need. But if you can explain up to that extent, it is really good. But just knowing the surface is enough. You don't want to know the reaction. But if you can identify the reaction, it's really better, right? Okay, the next one. The gas emitted during the process of photosynthesis is, the gas emitted during the process of photosynthesis is?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, yes, exactly. So when the photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is absorbed to produce the food inside the plant and oxygen is released. So that is why plants are really required in this world, because they are the oxygen factories in this world. Green plants. The most suitable equipment to observe the microorganism in water is?
Compound microscope.
Compound microscope, exactly. So like you can use that hand lens. Hand lens is also kind of microscope, but it is not compound, right? Hand lens, you can see it's not compound. It is a single. It has single lens, but the compound microscope, it has two lenses. So we need light compound microscope to see the microorganisms. So magnifying glass is not a solution. Telescope, we need to look at telescope. We need that to look at sky, maybe birds, something far away from us. We need telescope. The binocular is also kind of that. Select the most suitable word to fill in the blanks. The energy needed for photosynthesis is supplied by?
Sun.
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 Yes. There are a limit of growth within plants. Isn't, right? There isn't, because plants are ever growing. I said that plants are ever growing. But for animals, there is a limit. Most of animals are
Heterotrophic.
heterotrophic. So I said that, right? Autotrophic means swayamposhi, but only the plants can produce the food. So there are some animals, but these are not, these micro animals, those are not actually called animals. So therefore actually we can only put plants for the moment. There are plants, most of the plants, they are producing their own food by becoming autotrophic, doing photosynthesis. But animals are heterotrophic. So then characteristic which can be seen in animals but cannot be seen in most plants is?
Locomotion.
Locomotion. Yes. All the living beings are reproducing, right? So it can be seen in animals and plant both, but locomotion is commonly there in animals. An essential requirement for photosynthesis is?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, yes. You need sunlight and carbon dioxide both. Okay, then you are given two exercises. I think you can do this at home. Use a dichotomous key to classify the given plants. So you have 1, 2, guava, hibiscus, coconut, 5 plants. Yes, 5 plants. Use dichotomous key and divide them into categories. At least you need one dichotomous key can divide this to 2. one more dichotomous key can be divided into two. Actually, you need at least you need three. 1, 3 or 4 dichotomous keys to divide this. Try this at home and please send it to the WhatsApp group. Again, for the animals, you need to do the same. Actually, rat and snake, 2 animals, right? Rat, snake, rat and snake, right? Rat, snake. Use dichotomous keys that you can do as a homework. And we have revised the lesson. We have also done the questions. Go to the field trip and study further about characteristics and diversity of organisms. So I think I would like to show you a small video on that before we wind up today. So because we cannot plan for a trip, unfortunately, but still I have prepared this small video I downloaded. I would like to show that to you now. This is about the diversity of animals. It's only 4-minute video. Let's watch.
Our planet's diverse, thriving ecosystems may seem like permanent fixtures, but they're actually vulnerable to collapse. Jungles can become deserts, and reefs can become lifeless rocks, even without cataclysmic events like volcanoes and asteroids. What makes one ecosystem strong and another weak in the face of change? The answer, to a large extent, is biodiversity. Biodiversity is built out of 3 intertwined features: ecosystem diversity, species diversity, and genetic diversity. The more intertwining there is between these features, the denser and more resilient the weave becomes. Take the Amazon rainforest, one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth due to its complex ecosystems, huge mix of species, and the genetic variety within those species. Here are tangled liana vines, which crawl up from the forest floor to the canopy, intertwining with treetops and growing thick wooded stems that support these towering trees. Helped along by the vines, trees provide the seeds, fruits, and leaves to herbivores such as the tapir and the agouti, which disperse their seeds throughout the forest so they can grow. Leftovers are consumed by the millions of insects that decompose and recycle nutrients to create rich soil. The rainforest is a huge system filled with many smaller systems like this, each packed with interconnected species. Every link provides stability to the next, strengthening biodiversity's weave. That weave is further reinforced by the genetic diversity within individual species, which allows them to cope with changes. Species that lack genetic diversity due to isolation or low population numbers are much more vulnerable to fluctuations caused by climate change, disease, or habitat fragmentation. Whenever a species disappears because of its weakened gene pool, a knot is untied and parts of the net disintegrate. So, what if we were to remove one species from the rainforest? Would the system fall apart? Probably not. The volume of species, their genetic diversity, and the complexity of the ecosystems form such rich biodiversity in this forest that one species gap in the weave won't cause it to unravel. The forest can stay resilient and recover from change. But that's not true in every case. In some environments, taking away just one important component can undermine the entire system. Take coral reefs, for instance. Many organisms in a reef are dependent on the coral. It provides key microhabitats, shelter, and breeding grounds for thousands of species of fish, crustaceans, and mollusks. Corals also form interdependent relationships with fungi and bacteria. The coral itself is a loom that allows the tangled net of biodiversity to be woven. That makes coral a keystone organism, one that many others depend on for their survival. So what happens when destructive fishing practices, pollution, and ocean acidification weaken coral or even kill it altogether? Exactly what you might think. The loss of this keystone species leaves its dependents at a loss too, threatening the entire fabric of the reef. Ecosystem, species, and genetic diversity together form the complex tangled weave of biodiversity that is vital for the survival of organisms on Earth. We humans are woven into this biodiversity too. When just a few strands are lost, our own well-being is threatened. Cut too many links, and we risk unraveling it all. What the future brings is unpredictable, but biodiversity can give us an insurance policy, Earth's own safety net, to safeguard our survival.
Okay, so diversity. So we can see a lot of useful and some are harmful different living organisms in the Earth's surface, plants, microorganisms. When we learn about the microorganisms, actually we discuss a lot about their useful effects, harmful effects. And I said how to produce yogurt. I hope you have tested and tried yogurt production. So yogurt production is like it's using lactobacillus. So cheese production, lactobacillus, and some other bacteria species, different bacteria species you can use for cheese and yogurt dairy products. And also we learn about penicillin-like medicine can be produced using fungus, mold-like fungus. And so these are some examples for useful microorganisms. And even as vaccines, some microorganisms are used as vaccines to enhance or boost our health. So we learn about that, but the thing is, so there are a lot of harmful microorganisms and also insects. 80% of the world, you saw 80% of the world animal population, 80% of the species, basically 80% of these are arthropods. Arthropoda means we call Sandipadakain. So arthropoda. You can see this lot of animals, including the not earthworm, right? Not butterfly, and also animals like centipedes. So these are categories coming under butterfly, centipedes, cockroaches. So coming under arthropoda category. But we think that these animals are harmful, but existence of the human being or existence of the world is depend on these animals. If you cut down too many limbs, if you kill some animals, if you remove animals, especially the sea animals, you see the coral reefs, if you destroy, that will really affect the balance of the earth. It's a chain, right? We all are interdependent. Even though we think we are not dependent, no, we all are interdependent. So without plant, think about oxygen. Right? Without the plants, think about the food production chain, because we are dependent on the plants. So we have to protect these biodiversity in the world. Right? That is amazing living world. Even though harmful or useful or harmful, we need to protect that biodiversity. What we have learned from that lesson is that. So the next lesson is things around us. We need to observe the environment. And this is not about the living beings, but this is about the things, right? And we will do a lot of experiments there. And I think we can start that next day. And that is also having a lot of practicals. We will do that. We will see how to do that practicals, and we will see how can we utilize these practicals to do a useful thing, right? So these solids, gases, liquids, we will learn about that. So basically, so as advanced topic, we will learn about periodic table, but it is not here in this lesson, but we will step into that periodic table as well. Okay, that is our second lesson. So we will start that lesson next week. Then I'll stop from here. Do you have any questions before winding up?
Excuse me, sir, I'm Sanoki. Can you send the recording today?
Okay, but I'll upload the recording to the channel and send you the link, right?
Okay.
Okay. Then good night. If you don't have any other questions, let's wind up.
Good night.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you put the class 7 p.m. like that?
What about the others? Others, is it possible? Side, Tisandi, will it be okay?
I can, sir.
Side, I think you also, right? Okay, then, yeah. Okay, let's put it. No worries, I'll put it to 7 p.m. Okay. Okay, good night. Bye.
Bye,
Good
sir.
night, sir.